morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to have a little bit of a look at the very first information we are getting about Pokemon Sword and Shield trading cards. I know, right? Now, we did have this logo shown to us at the Pokemon World Championships, which was lovely, but we've not had any kind of information. Well, today that changes. You see, we actually have, and admittedly it is dummy artwork, but we do have booster pack artwork for the Sword and Shield expansion over in Japan. And it's not the dummiest of dummy artwork. Generally, proper job dummy artwork just has simple background and stock image of the Pokemon. This seems like it's actually been properly designed, so although it says dummy artwork, I don't think it is actually dummy artwork, which is pretty cool. It is being released on the 6th of December over in Japan. Now remember, we have all but had it confirmed that our first Sun and Moon expansion will be in February, and I'm calling it that we're going to be getting it on Friday the 7th of February. Not confirmed, but overwhelmingly likely. Now, there will be 60 cards plus question mark, but remember, this is Sword and Shield. Now, over in Japan, they do this, especially with the core sets, where you have Sword packs and Shield packs, and each of them is 60 cards plus question mark, which makes a rather large 120 cards in the main set. But then again, it is the first Sword and Shield set. We should be expecting that. There are going to be a lot of cards. I'm going to introduce a bunch of Pokemon. Now, we haven't seen any cards. We do expect them to have a new design when they come out. So, for instance, if we have a look at Pokegear that we just got in the Sun and Moon expansion, you can see that even just the design of the card in the background is very different to how Pokegear looked back in the Heart Gold Soul Silver expansion. Even if you just look at the borders and the layout of the cards, it's all that little bit different. And they're not ready to show that yet. You know, the second they do, I will be running to my computer to make you a video about it. At the moment, I'm afraid they've not shown us that information. Boo, hiss, etc. So we know they're going to be 60 cards plus secret rares in each set. We know that they're coming out on the 6th of December, and we know that the Zacian Z and Zamazenta Z, which were teased at the World Championships, will be in there. If you want Zacian, you've got to buy the Sword packs, and if you want Zamazenta, you've got to buy the Shield packs. Cool. Now, we were also shown some information about Sword and Shield V Rising. This is the first subset. You can see that it is S1A. And it is going to be released on the 7th of February 2020, which incidentally is the exact date I'm expecting we will get our first release of Pokemon Sword and Shield packs. And that should tell you something right there, because in Japan for a while now, they have been doing monthly releases. So they'll have Sun and Moon 10 in 1 month, then Sun and Moon 10A, then Sun and Moon 10B, then Sun and Moon 11. They've been having monthly releases. This means they're taking January off. Beginning of December, Sword and Shield 1. Beginning of February, Sword and Shield 1A. And there's nothing but between 1 and 1A. January's actually not getting a set, which in theory should bring down the size of our sets a little bit. Although having said that, with Sword and Shield having 120 cards over both, I don't think that means our sets are going to be too tiny too quickly. What do we know about V Rising, other than the fact that it's S1A? It's coming out on the 7th of February. It will feature 70 cards plus question mark. And that is literally it. That is all the information that we have at the moment. Now, in terms of releases, Altered Genesis is coming out in Japan, well, a week on Friday. So it's coming out on the 7th of September. We know that in October we are getting, well, the name we've been given is a high-class pack. There was a trademark which was filed for Tag All-Stars, but it seems like the Best of X and Y, which was the final X and Y expansion that came out before we ended up in Sun and Moon. which implies that there will be no November mini set in Japan either. And also, right, we're getting into September soon. We have received no information whatsoever about a mini set in November, about a Sun and Moon 12B. What this also means is that Sun and Moon 12A has to be in Cosmic Eclipse. They can't just start moving those cards into Sword and Shield 1, for us, over in February, because the cards are going to have different designs. There's going to be all kinds of differences. No, we need to have them put into Cosmic Eclipse. But then again, Cosmic Eclipse, we've already seen from some of the cards, is going to feature... Well, we've not been given an exact number of cards, but we do know how many cards there are going to be, not including secret rares. If we have a look at Togepi, Clefairy, and Igglybuff, we can see there are 236 cards plus secret rares. So hopefully that means that anything that Japan get in Sun and Moon 12A that we don't will then make its way into Cosmic Eclipse, so that we can start fresh with Sword and Shield in February. There is an opportunity for the Pokemon Company to go, right, let's put Sword and Shield and Sword and Shield 1A all into the first set and actually give us the cards from Sword and Shield 1A day and date with Japan, and give us both of those sets rolled into one on the same day Japan gets 1A. I don't think that will happen, but if they're going to start, and they're not going to make it perfect, right, because we have releases every 3 months, and Japan have kind of 2 in 3 months, it looks like. But if they're ever going to start trying to even them up a little bit, this would be the perfect time to do so. Not saying they will, saying they could. Now, we've also had a bunch of news about some other products, though we don't have a huge amount of information for them. Though shout out to the lovely PokeGuardian.com Primal Lugia on Twitter for help translating some of this information. So what is really cool is that the first Sword and Shield cards are actually coming out in Japan on November the 29th with the Sword and Shield V starter decks. We know there are 5 of them. Yeah, that's about it, I'm honest with you. That's about all that we know. We know that they're going to have 60 cards in. They are proper full decks. We know there are 5 different ones. They're coming out on the 29th of November. Although, if you're feeling fancy, you can actually buy this collection, which comes with all 5 of the starter decks in one box. And I am so hyped for Sword and Shield in the trading card game, I might just see if one of my friends in Japan can hook me up with this. I'd be kind of excited about that. Now, we are also, and by we I mean Japan, going to be getting the Premium Trainer Collection. And that is coming out on December the 6th, so the same date as the Sword and Shield set. And it's going to feature 34 acrylic damage counters, a coin, a counter case, a premium status marker for poison and burn, a card box with a magnet open and close, and 10 packs of Sword and Shield, along with 48 trainer cards. Hopefully that's going to be 48 trainer cards which are going to help you to build decks a little bit in the future. Slightly later on the 27th of December, we are also going to be getting a Zacian and Zamazenta box. And what we know about this is that it is going to have 4 new cards, including the legendary Pokemon Zacian and Zamazenta, that support the Zacian V and Zamazenta V cards that will release in Sword and Shield. We don't quite know what that means, but we know that these V cards are special. They may well end up being kind of like level X's, where you put a Pokemon onto another Pokemon and level them up, so to speak. Again, we have extremely little information about this, so it's very much a wait and see kind of approach. Now, in more merchandisey, less cardy news, we also know that they are going to be releasing a whole bunch of stuff. On this picture, we can see a deck box, some sleeves, a storage box with energy cards, a ring binder pages, and a card carrying case. We can also see in this image that we've got some sleeves, we've got a deck box, we've got acrylic damage counters, we've got a damage counter case, and Sword and Shield flip dice Pikachu. Now, I've got a kind of Pikachu and Pokeball dice, very, very similar to this, that I've had for several years, it's interesting to see that these designs are carrying on. But that is not all the news we've got today, ladies and gentlemen, because the lovely folks over at TotalCards.net, and we know that they are good folks with good information, have shown us the Pokemon Galar collection. Now, the thing to note about the Galar collection, this is not actually the proper name of the box. The proper name of the box is essentially being withheld because it almost certainly gives away some information about Sword and Shield, and with the games not being out yet, they want to very much control how the information is released. Speaking of being released, this is going to be released on the 15th of November, which you might notice is the exact date of the release of Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. So this is a TCG product which is going to be released on the same day as the games, and there is essentially zero chance I won't end up buying this. Fun fact, there is a very good chance my second child will be born on the 15th of November. That would also mark exactly 18 months after baby Daisy was born, and my wife's always said she wants 18 months between kids. And when my wife says stuff like that, it tends to come true. So there is a very good chance my second child is born on the release date of both this and Sword and Shield. And then there's a big question as to how much time I'll actually have to play the game. We'll see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see. What do you get in the box? You are going to be getting one card each of the free starters, Grookey, Sobble, and Scorbunny, as well as jumbo versions of Zacian V and Zamazenta V. Also, this will clearly be our first opportunity to have a look at English cards with the new design. Because remember, the main cards aren't actually coming out for us until February, so this is going to predate the main Sword and Shield set by 2.5, pretty much 3 months. And is going to have cards with the new design. Incidentally, don't get excited about getting Sword and Shield boosters. It is likely that this set will literally have the free starters and either Jumbo Zacian or Zamazenta, and that is it in terms of Sword and Shield. Although we are also getting a pin of all 3 of the first partner Pokemon, and bearing in mind they did this when Sun and Moon came out, and I got a pin with all of those 3 first partner Pokemon, and that is, to my mind, the greatest pin Pokemon have ever released. Hopefully, this new one will be just as good. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, lots of news. We don't know a huge amount, but we know some stuff, and let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, we had to have a bit of a chat about it, didn't we? So I'm excited, but I'd like to know what you think about this news. Do you have any predictions? Do you have any opinions? Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, then head yourselves over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassyPlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't even have any Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.